Hey YouTube, this is Nashtaters. Welcome back to another episode of War of Divisions. Today is Monday, so that means we're going to be getting new notices regarding what's coming on this week's events. So let's get into it. But before we do that, a couple of announcements on the channel. If you have not watched my last episode of Spinner's Corner, I've decided that I will be taking a break on every Sunday from this moment on forth because I feel like I needed a break. I feel like I sometimes are rushing to make content for Sundays because of my work schedule. So to make things a lot easier for everyone, I'm just going to go ahead and eliminate Sunday from the rotation. But I'm going to be doing probably more than one videos on weekdays. Not perhaps every single day, but at least I'll try my best to do as much coverage as I can on the game regarding whatever topics at hand. So I am done with all my 100 free summons, but the good news is I still have a lot of tickets, the rare tickets you get every single day for doing your dailies. So maybe I'll spend some of those. And I believe I also have the You Are Guaranteed Selector ticket. Why do I keep saying Selector? It's not Selector, it's just a regular ticket from all those little pieces that we've been gathering over time. So I'll probably go ahead and use those up for this video. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into Monday's news. So here we are, a rare summon. I haven't used this in a very long time. In fact, I don't think I ever used this. So I can see I have tons of tickets and I also have 2 shots of the 10x summons. I think I did these from the tower, and I think whatever the deep dungeon perhaps, whatever the case is, I have them saved, and I guess I haven't really been thinking too much about them. So let's also check out my tickets. As you can see, I spent my 60, I guess they call them puzzle pieces, to get the You Are Guaranteed Unisummon ticket. And just to make sure I have a chance at Keto Fae, let's double check. And there she is. That's my main focus. Right now in my Guild Wars, that's pretty much all I face on defense. Let's do 2 of these. And then we'll do the ticket, the UR ticket. And then we'll get on with Monday's news. And the reason I'm doing this is because there isn't really a whole lot of Monday news to be talking about, to be honest. So I think that's good news. Sometimes I don't really like to overwhelm people with lots of news. And I think the company's learning that they don't need to be giving us 30 different events going on at once. Because I think a lot of times we can't afford to concentrate on certain events, you know, if there's tons of other options that are distracting us. But nevertheless, having lots of options is better than no options. So that I'm not really complaining about, because I do still enjoy the idea of giving us tons of options. But maybe giving us too many options could be something that they could think about going forward. Like I think a couple of weeks ago we had like literally 8 things to farm, and I think a lot of players were kind of overwhelmed. Oh! Monday happy news! Oh, wait a second. I keep getting this card on this account. And by the way, that's a great card. Also, I'm sure a lot of people already know this, but the Lakers won their 17th title, so I had to throw that in there. Congratulations to them. I was really hoping that they would win, and they did a good job, and it was a great season overall. And I know there's a lot of people going to put the quote-unquote asterisk on it or whatever, but forget those haters. You can't let haters bring it down. So that was a good summons. That was a very good summons. Echoing Screams, finishing that off, is really good for PvE. I don't think a lot of people use it for PvP per se, because of the fact that a lot of people tend to go focus on defense and defensive-oriented stats and whatnot. I think this is one to completely dud, so we're gonna go ahead and skip. Why? No skip. Last time I skipped, I missed out on Echoing Screams. And ironically, I got an Echoing Screams just now. So here we go. Is it gonna change? It did change, but is it gold? The perks of having charm. That's the second one I gotten in the last several days. All right, now for the coup de grace. Wait, coup de grace? I think it's coup de grace, right? Man, I need to get touched up on my my French sayings. Here we go. Come on, Keto Fae. I know you want to come home. I would totally or like skip some of my other units I'm working on if I get her right now. Voila! K-I-L-P-H-E. Come home to Daddy. Alright. No comment there. It could have been sexy Stern, but this regular Stern says I show up with no armor on. Come on, man. Come on. Alright. That's all the summons. Let's talk about the news. So there's not too much to talk about, but nevertheless, few things to mention. First and foremost, let's talk about new weekly campaign. You get 2,500 gems as usual. You get some skip tickets, which is good, but I think last week we got the event skip tickets. This time we're getting the story skip tickets, 50 of them. I could definitely use more of those. It looks like they're giving us some sort of daily missions where you can do them and then you will get growth eggs and guild snappers. Very cool, very cool. And don't forget to change your guild medals come Wednesday so you can get triple the amount of medals. I think that's it for that. That's pretty easy. New story, Scene 2, Chapter 9. Another chance to get tons of new stuff. And for those of you who are into the story, now you can dive further deep into the story. And of course, we're getting secret books. Really not much of an announcement there. Let's go ahead and talk about the Behemoth King raid, and then we'll finish off with the new vision cards. Taking on the Behemoth King. So I don't really need to talk about exactly how the raid works. However, there are going to be probably a lot of beginning players. So I'll just do like a quick 30-second touch-up. Basically, you do certain things that you do in terms of farming, whether you're farming events, whether you're farming your story mode, whether you're farming your hard boss battles, or excuse me, your hard node battles, in terms of farming your shards for your units. And what's going to happen is you're going to trigger the raid, and the raid will go up to, I believe now, level 100 if they haven't changed it, because it used to be 150, but since then I believe they only got up to 100, which is nice, cool change for I think the majority of us. And then you get to attack either the Behemoth King, or if you get the rare trigger, you're gonna get the Tonberry, which is I believe a human. So then you get to fight those guys, and then you can get medals in which you can use to exchange for specific items. And then of course you also get crafting equipment, or excuse me, crafting materials for the new recipe they're giving us. The Behemoth King, it is dark and is a beast and is weak to pierce attacks. Now obviously you can use light units to hit it, you can use units that have access to Beast Killer, and of course you don't necessarily have to use Pierce. You can use anything you have access to as long as you can chain, because chaining in this game will give you a lot more damage. Tonberry, as I said before, it's a wind human, weak to slash attack, which is very good because almost every one of us have multiple units that are slash units, and you want to ideally use something that hits wind harder. And of course units like that have a human killer like Gafgarion is very good. Of course, if you have Odin, you can obviously use Odin, and then of course if you have ice units, you can do a little bit more damage to wind units. So overall, very cool event, but I think they're making a lot of changes to make raid even a better experience for us. So kudos to them. The UR equipment is going to be a katana, so I think this is a great opportunity for me to not really go too hard on it, because I don't have many samurais that I'm working on, and I don't really plan on working on any samurais in the future. So that's for me. But for those of you who love samurais, this is your opportunity to get a UR damage, high damage equipment weapon. And of course, you can also farm other things, right? For example, as you're earning more October raid medals, you can exchange it for the Platinum Helm and any other previous UR recipes that we have access to before, but no longer have access now in terms of getting their materials. But at least you can get their recipes, because you need 63 recipes to make a +5. By the way, that is a very long grind, even for hardcore players. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about raid. I think maybe I'll do a little bit of tinier coverage later on in the week, see if I feel like there's some changes that needs to be mentioned. But right now I don't know, and we're going to see what happens on Wednesday. So this is what I think is the bigger news. Titan is finally here. This is a card that I recommended, and I believe in several of my review videos. And so he is finally here, and I'm not gonna sure exactly what they're gonna do in terms of summons. They're gonna give us another guaranteed summons, which they probably will, right? Because I think that's the trend we're doing, getting players to spend 10k so they can get a copy of the brand new UR/Esper combo cards. Obviously, it should be Earth because he is Raging Earth Titan, UR quality, and then of course there's another one, the MR 4 Warring Lords. That's a pretty cool looking card. Like I really enjoy all of these kings, so that's going to be cool. Obviously, he's going to be added to the Beast and the Titan. Raging Earth Titan, UR quality. Obviously, at first glimpse, he looks like an orc from World of Warcraft because of the teeth, I guess. But he does have white hair. He is really big because he's a Titan. But overall, I think he looks a little bit plain. So, party ability, Man-Eater up upon physical attack. Super good. Limited bestow effect. So this is something brand new we're going to be getting. Activation requirements. Has to be earth, has to be water, and it has to be able to equip spears as their main job. So therefore, if there are sub-jobs such as dragoons or whatever, they're not going to be able to equip spear. It has to be in their main jobs. Now, I don't believe we have any earth units that can equip spears as of now. Water, I know Glacial is the only one. So, I think we're pretty limited. But if you guys haven't noticed, the companies like to release a unit and then a card all within a week of each other right before the anticipation of the new raid. That's a really great way to do it. But at the same time, it's also a great way to kind of get people to spend money, I suppose, because obviously majority of us are not going to be able to have access to the unit/vision card as readily as perhaps the spenders. Nevertheless, it is what it is, and I never bought into the whole concept of this because I know during Lucia I didn't get her, I know during Venera I didn't get her, so you know I still did okay on the raid, but then again I'm never really that hardcore on the raid to begin with. Bestowed effects is attack up. Now obviously, is it going to be two separate effects? And I believe it is. It's going to be an extra effect that you can trigger to do something, so we'll see what happens with that one. Gaia's Wrath. Deals large earth damage with enchantment. It's like mobilize. Okay, nothing super good about that. Activates temporary effect, raises attack. Okay, as always, earth is always going to be good. Now we have this, and now we have Golem. So two really good espers that you should be working with. Let's talk about the MR card. Usually I tend to ignore this, but I think I should cover more MRs since URs are generally speaking cards that the majority of us don't really think too much about. So for the party effect, critical hit rate up, and then of course bestowed effect, physical attack up. So obviously Rob is going to be a very, very good unit in terms of high critical and high damage, and I believe Ode is also really, really good with that. I never actually I can't even pronounce his name, the other king, so I don't know too much about him, but I know the two UR units, they're really good with critical rate up, and they're really good with dealing lots and lots of damage. Those two are really, really underrated in my opinion. They're UR quality. So looks like that's all we're getting for this week, which is not too bad, and I think that's okay because right now people are probably farming for the Rune Blade to finish that up, and of course next week they're gonna probably work really hard on the Ice Spear, Ice Lance, and of course the Rune Bow, and then of course now we got the two-hander samurai weapon of UR quality, by the way, for the raid. So a lot of things to look forward to this week. For me, I'm probably just going to finish off the spears. Again, as a reminder, I'm also going to be doing streams every Friday tentatively, and that's the plan, starting at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Albeit, unless something changes, I will go ahead and give you guys that notice. I think that's all the time for this video. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I certainly did. So, as always, take care of yourself, all your loved ones. Remember, time is your most valuable resource, so spend it wisely. This is Nashtaters and his family, and we're out of here. Peace out.